Morning all, hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe. It's Thursday the 18th of June, lovely morning here this morning. No rain again yesterday, that's 3 in a row. We're going to get some at some point. Lots to get through this morning again, so let's get right to it. So US cases up a little bit again yesterday, trending up, but deaths still trending now, which is great news. Florida daily still trending up, lower cases yesterday than there were on Tuesday, which is good news. The death rate still around the same as it was 3 weeks ago, so no spikes in deaths, which is good news as well. On the stats front, our positive rate is over 9% now for this week, but that's only 2 days. Hospitalization's up very, very slightly, like point something of a percent, and the death rate still below that recorded in the week before we hit phase 2, which was the 1st of June. So still doing well, no death spikes in Florida, so good news there. It does look like the demographics that are getting the virus now are younger people, and they're more able to manage it. There was a story yesterday about Orlando International Airport, its figures, its positive rate being 52%. That came out yesterday morning. That was quickly changed, and then it transpired through the day that Ron DeSantis, the governor who had given that information yesterday, had been given the wrong information. So those cases happened between March and June, and actually the 500 tests that happened in the last week, only 2 cases came out of that. So that's more relevant than what happened in the morning. There was also a story in one of the English newspapers yesterday about bars closing down in Florida. Well, if you read under that headline, that was 6 bars across 2 cities, 5 in Jacksonville, 1 in Orlando. So let's put that in perspective. There's a lot of misinformation at the moment going around, so please look, be careful what you read, and don't have a knee-jerk reaction to it. Disney World's website has been updated now for annual pass holders to show their blockout dates and when they need a reservation for. So that information is there for this year and for next year, but they stopped their reservations at the end of June 2021. So at the moment, this is not going to go through to the end of 2021. That's at today. The NBA now have firmed up their details of where they're going to stay in Disney World. So it was going to be just the Coronado Springs. Now it's over 3 different resorts, including Coronado Springs. So I've got details of that. I've got the map of where they're staying and where they're playing and where they're practicing. Hong Kong Disneyland opened this morning. I've got very little news on that at the moment. There was a video came out this morning, so I'm going to hope to get that, clip that, because it's about 50 minutes long. So I'm hopefully going to see that later today and push that out as well later. And Visit Orlando website, that's been updated. That's a really good website, actually, Visit Orlando. It's got a ton of information on there. It's been updated for COVID-19. It shows you what's open, and whatever is open, it shows you what procedures they're following for COVID-19. And then finally, TUI, the European airline, is switching its operation from Orlando Sanford Airport to Orlando Melbourne Airport. So I've got some details of that, and I've got some details of the driving distances from the relative 2 airports, and also how much it would cost in an Uber if you're not driving, how much it would cost in an Uber to get from Sanford currently and from Melbourne in the future. So that's the headlines for today. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe, hit that notification bell and press all. You'll get this stuff 6 days a week right now. I'll be in the park Sundays or doing something on a Sunday that's not news right now. If you're liking this stuff, if you get some value from it, please hit that like button. The YouTube algorithm tends to like the like, so this video will get pushed out to more people and it will help the channel. So thanks very much for that. Okay, let's get to the news. 26,071 new COVID-19 cases were recorded yesterday across the whole of the US. That's moving up slightly on the trend. 809 deaths were recorded across the US yesterday, and that trend continues to move downwards. In Florida yesterday we had 2,610 cases, which is the 3rd highest ever recorded. 25 deaths were found yesterday in Florida, and that's the same as on June the 1st. June the 4th was when phase 2 started in Florida. Here are the statistics behind the number of Florida cases. Yesterday 25,462 tests were recorded, so the 2,610 positive tests is 10.25% of all tests. There were 183 hospitalizations, which is 0.72% of all tests, and 25 deaths, which is 0.1% of all tests. For the 2 days of this week, we're looking at a 9.7% positive rate, 0.67% hospitalization and 0.144% of deaths. That 0.144% is still lower than that recorded on the 1st of June, which is just prior to phase 2. This story appeared yesterday and was widely picked up. It said that 500 employees were tested at Orlando International Airport, and of those 500 tests, 260 people had tested positive, or 52%. Those 260 positive cases came from mid-March through June the 6th, but the number of tests made to provide those 260 cases was not shared. Between June the 7th and 13th, 500 more workers were tested and only 2 were positive. The state's health department later confirmed it provided the incorrect information to Governor DeSantis. Another headline from yesterday was this from The Independent, which said that Florida bars and restaurants were closing just a week after reopening. The second paragraph, however, puts that into some perspective. Actually, 5 bars closed in Jacksonville and 1 in Orlando. Disney World's website yesterday was updated to show that reservations would be required for all annual pass holders. Their calendar has been updated to show reservations required in green and blockout dates in grey for the various grades of annual passes. This is the calendar through the end of November 2020 for Gold Pass holders. There are no blockout dates for Gold Pass holders during this period. You can see here that reservations go through to the end of June 2021 currently, and there are the blockout dates for some parts of December, January, March and April, which cover the Christmas and Easter periods. More details were revealed yesterday on where the NBA teams will be staying when they come to Orlando to resume their season. It had been previously announced that all teams would stay at the Coronado Springs Resort. Now it appears that 3 resorts will be used, those being the Grand Destino Tower at Coronado Springs, the Grand Floridian and the Yacht Club. This map shows where the teams will stay, where the broadcast courts are, the practice and shooting court locations and the arenas. Hong Kong Disneyland became Disney's second park to open following COVID-19. I'm hoping to release some video of that later today. Visit Orlando has updated their website to provide information to counter COVID-19. It also provides details of what's open in Orlando at the moment and how they are following CDC guidelines. Finally, a recap on European Airline TUI's plans to switch from Orlando Sanford Airport to Orlando Melbourne International Airport. TUI will make Melbourne their Florida hub from spring 2022, flying from various cities within England and Scotland. To compare the relative distances from these airports to Kissimmee, the trip from Sanford would take approximately 53 minutes, while from Melbourne it is approximately 1 hour and 6 minutes. If you're not looking to drive, the cost of an Uber from Sanford to Kissimmee is $52.16 for an Uber X, while the same ride from Melbourne to Kissimmee will cost you $89.15. So it does look like we're getting a few more cases up and down the country overall, but if you look at the death rate both in US as a whole and in Florida, the ultimate metric, that's still trending down. So that's good news, and it does look like the demographic is getting younger that's catching the virus. Now that's probably because they're out doing more stuff that they weren't doing pre-phase 2. So the bars are opening up, the clubs are opening up, theme parks are opening up. So there's more opportunity, I guess, to catch the virus, especially if you're not wearing a mask, and there's plenty of people who are not wearing a mask right now. There's no mandated mask wearing anywhere in Florida as far as I'm aware, certainly not in Orange County where the theme parks are. Miami, Broward and Palm Beach are still the major culprits for cases, and they've been stopped. Miami's been stopped from opening up in phase 2 because of that rise in cases. So that's a good thing. I'm glad Governor DeSantis has done that. Looking at that story about Orlando International and the one about the bars, there's misinformation being spread out there about just how bad this thing is. So, I mean, read whatever you want to read as much as you can, actually, because that's good. You get a full spectrum then. But please don't take a knee-jerk reaction just because you read something. Not all of it's true. To coin a famous person, some of it's fake news. So yeah, just be careful about that. I will try and interpret, if you like, or give you the truth about what I know. Look, I'm not the oracle, but I don't like this misinformation. So just, yeah, please be careful about what you're reading. Disney World's website now putting the AP information on there. So yeah, rumours yesterday about there being reservations right the way through 2021. Not the case at the moment. Now they could do a rolling reservation update. So, you know, at the end of June maybe they'll push it into July, and then at the end of August maybe they'll push it into August for next year. I don't know, but at the moment it only runs to June. And you can see, if you're an AP holder, you can see exactly what your blockout dates are, and everything else has to be reserved. That reservation system isn't live yet, by the way. That's just an update for AP holders. Also, no information on international travel, no more information about relaxation of self-quarantine for the tri-state area right now. Hong Kong Disneyland, yeah, reopened this morning. Haven't heard any really bad stories of that. There is a video knocking around. I haven't had the time to look at that yet, but I will do later, and I will try and clip it and make it relevant and push it out. And then TUI, TUI is currently building up its operations. It's spending a lot of money at Melbourne International. Melbourne's towards the coast, and you take the 192 straight into Kissimmee, and that's the kind of drops you into Celebration in Kissimmee as well. So, and straight down into Disney World. So if you're staying anywhere around there, then that's for you. You get off a little bit earlier if you're going to get into International Drive area, and it is a little longer travel than Sanford. But apart from that, it should be a really easy airport actually to navigate in and out of. It's not very big at all, so hopefully immigration lines and car hire lines will be fairly small, which is good news. I'm guessing it's cheaper for TUI. That's why they're doing it. That is the news for today. I'll be back tomorrow. So until then, stay safe, take care. See you then. Cheers for now.